There's a cat with me. You know, it's interesting being at this particular moment in time in my life right now. Um, I just wanted to get on here and ramble a little bit before I get my work done. But what's the name? It's interesting now, like hanging out with a cat. Um, because I have a new living situation, and there was a cat here. And for those who don't know, my baby Angie, she didn't make it. Um, I lost her around Thanksgiving, like a few days before Thanksgiving. And, that was during a time where I was like staying in my car and everything and just trying to figure out my whole like life out. And my whole plan was to move to Orlando, right? Because I just wanted to be somewhere warm and more comfortable. Because, I mean, I'm a Jersey girl, but, I feel comfortable in warm environments and whatnot. And so, Angie didn't make it. I mean, she was like 19, almost 20. She would have been 20 this summer. But I had her for a long time. And, and I was really sad about it. But I knew at the same time it was probably better to not have her just because, it's just easier to move around and travel. Like, it's a lot when you have to, like, another living creature to, like, feed and look after. And it was getting cold, and I was keeping her in my car. And there was certain places I couldn't travel with her to, on top of the fact that I was, like, selling CDs and everything. Like, it was just a lot. So I knew it would just be easier for me to not have to worry about keeping Angie with me. So unfortunately, she didn't make it. And, but now my roommate has a cat, and he's a very friendly, adorable cat. He's a little on the chunky side because Angie was pretty skinny. Um, but this cat is really friendly, and that's like my new baby now. But um, you know, not really though. Like, I give him back. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here real quick and talk because it's Women's History Month. And you know last night I was just kind of briefly talking about just like just being a woman and being in my 30s and just trying to figure out what I want to do with my life and my career. Because like I said, I was living in my car for a period of time trying to get to a new location, and then from a new location figure out like what's the next step to my life. And as I've been like discovering things and learning about myself and just like building upon like my own superpowers, um I've just been in an interesting space of just trying to like figure my life out, but then also like help other people at the same time. And I just wanted to talk about like what that looks like for a woman, a single woman. Oh, sorry. A single woman with no kids, you know? Um, yeah, because I feel like there's so much expectations for us to like, be all the things. Or maybe not even like to be like a trad wife with like kids or whatever. And some of us don't want that life. Some of us don't want to, be the house mom. some of us are, rather than like wanting to be like a mother and, have kids, some of us rather, you know, just be career women. And that's kind of like always what I've wanted. Like, not that I like, didn't want kids or anything like that. It's just I knew like my main focus have always been like building my career and then, and just getting my own life together and then focusing on that like flow of things. Because, my thing was like I never wanted to have kids in a world that was like unstable. Like I don't want to bring a child into a world where my world isn't together. And I feel like as I keep progressing in life, like my world just keeps getting more complex and there's more things like I don't know, it's just like exhausting sometimes. Because like on the surface of, just trying to figure my life out, like, financially, stability, like getting your own money, having your own place. It seems like nothing's going on, but like I've been like hustling my butt off, selling CDs and like just expanding my brand as a musician. And I know that my network is extensive, like in real life, not this like fake delusional world of like, trying to appease society and make my life seem normal when it's nothing of the sort. Nothing normal about my life, and then trying to fake as if it is, you know, it's like kind of crazy. Um, Knowing that, when I really think about it, like the type of reach that I could have and the type of people that, I am supported by or, can even just contact and like reach out to is kind of crazy. And it's like, sometimes I forget that. I'm just so used to things just like I mean, there's always like a shift within the next few quarters. There's always like a new revelation, a new like, okay, by the way, here's this bit of information. Oh yeah, this is what's been going on. Oh yeah, by the way, and you can do this. And then oh yeah, and when you do this, this is actually what's happening in the background. Like, there's always these new revelations of things that I'm learning. And I'm like, can y'all just give me everything straight? Like where's the office? What are all the things? Like, can we time travel? Like, our multiverse is real? Okay, superpowers, is that a thing? How do we master that? Like, can we just get all the fluff out the way? Just get it all out the way. And I'm just because my whole thing is like, uh, I mean, I I do think being in Orlando is better for me right now. Even though, funny enough, even though when I was like homeless and in Maryland, surprisingly I felt like it was easier to like make moves out there. And like, but even though it was like cold as fuck, but when I first moved out to Orlando, I just felt like it wasn't as, even though it's a major city, I just felt like I couldn't move around as like fluidly as I was in Maryland for whatever reason. I don't know. It's interesting. But when I was out there, I don't know, I just feel like if I knew then what I know now, I mean, I may have like made different choices, but at the same time I wouldn't have been in a position to really do anything about certain problems that I like thought like I would have, you know, just I don't know. Yeah, anyway, life is interesting. But that's beside the point. Anyway, being a 30-year-old woman with no kids, trying to figure my existence out. At this particular moment in time, I'm, you know, selling my CDs and just going with the flow and, you know, just making the best of the resources that I have. It's kind of like irritating at this particular moment in time, like just being in a space where, like I said, like shit just don't be making sense. You know, it doesn't make, like, it's not logical. You know, it's like dealing with people that tell you like, oh, you should get a job, you need to get a job, you know. And but at the same time, the people who are telling you to get a job work for the people that's holding you back from getting a job. So it's like, well, how am I supposed to get the job if the people aren't hiring me and intentionally aren't hiring me? You know what I mean? Like, because I know there's jobs, there's simple ass jobs that I know I qualify for. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, my thing is like, I've had management experience and I've had some experience in corporate. And my management experience has been in retail. So I know there's simple retail jobs that I could do, you know? And I've been applying, you know, like usually I'll apply to like more corporate stuff or like remote work, just so I know like I could work from home and just kind of like it's easier for me to like, you know, just go with the flow that way versus like, you know, being at an office, being in people's face or people being in my face. And it's like, no, you know, but that would be too simple, right? God forbid I want to protect my energy and not want to be around people trying to control my reality. You know, duh. You know, I'm not just gonna willfully like just put myself in, you know, uncomfortable spaces now that I know what I know and I know who I am and I know like I'm not just anybody. I'm not just anybody, you know, that people could just be around. You know, like I'm not just anybody that you have a right to have access to. You don't, you know. And I know that there's systems in this world that try to make women feel like we have to overextend ourselves or go above and beyond, and you know, and all while being treated like nobody. And it's like no, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not putting up with that. Like, you know, and even when there are some like boundaries or like standards that I want to set for the environment that I want to be in, you know, work wise, I'm like, all right, fine. You know what? Let me see if I could get one of these like simple jobs. Not simple jobs, but like jobs that shouldn't be complicated to acquire. You know what I mean? Like, okay, working in fast food. It shouldn't be difficult to acquire that job. You know? And I know I have the qualifications to get that. But I haven't even heard back from like Taco Bell. And I applied weeks ago. And so it's like it's irritating. And you know, it's irritating being in a space where you have like people, you know, saying like, oh, you should work here, you should work here, you should work there. And it's like, okay, and even if I take the time to do all that, and I have, you know, there's obviously a system that's keeping me from putting myself in a position where I can acquire more financial stability for myself, you know, to a point where I had to resort to selling CDs. I have to resort to selling CDs and you know, and trying to like come up with ways to make money myself. Like I tried to put a GoFundMe together, you know, and you know, that was blocked. And then, you know, I tried to start a website and you know, and my thing is like, okay, for what? Like I like, okay, I'm not about to sit up here and starve for you bitch ass motherfuckers. Like, you know, sorry. It's just frustrating. It's, you know, you don't understand how annoying it is for like the same people that's trying to tell you you need to do something, but then also be the same people that's holding you back from doing that thing. That's like you telling somebody, "Oh, you need to go to this event. You got to go there." Like if you don't go there, like it's the rest of your life. And you try to get to the event and then you got people blocking you from going there, but the people that's blocking you from going there is the same people telling you to go there. So bitch, what the fuck do you want from me? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the shit that be pissing me off. Like like, you know, and the thing is, like, I try not to take it too much to heart, because I know this shit ain't real. Like, I know a lot of this shit is just fucking illusions and simulations and all of that stuff. And I know people be like, you know, talking about that, like, hypothetically, but I'm talking about that in real life. You know, like, that's the shit that's irritating. It's like, don't tell me to do some shit, but you the reason why I can't get it done. You know what I mean? Like, that's, and people do that. Sometimes people do that shit intentionally just to like fuck with you and try to make you out to be crazy when you know you peep their bullshit. And it's like, you see where people are like fucking with you. And you know, and it's like, shut up. You know, like, that's how I be feeling. Like, don't, like, that's like, you know, and it reminds me of a situation where, like, I was working in retail, and this girl, like, you know, she was hired as like a sales lead. She wasn't like a store manager, but she was like, she was in management, but she was like lower management. And you know, and she was very like bubbly and upbeat and whatnot. And you know, and she wasn't always like the most professional. Um, but like, she meant well, and she wasn't like a bad person or nothing like that. She was just like, you know, really like upbeat and bubbly. And sometimes, and you know, she was a creative, and you can see that. And sometimes she needed to like tone it down just to, you know, show up as a manager. And you know, I would try to help her out and just be like, hey, just so you know, you should probably like, you know, when you do this, you should get it done like this, just because, you know, they gonna say something or whatever. I would try to give her like heads up and like help out and whatnot. But at towards the end of her being there, I know my store manager wasn't really crazy about her for other reasons. Um, one, because I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I could be wrong. I feel like one of the guys that she got the job to work there, which was funny because it was just funny for him to even just be working there and then to be in a position of management. And you know, he was kind of like a jock kind of guy, and this was a jewelry store. And but whatever, you know, we assumed that like she had a crush on him or something like that, even though she had a boyfriend at the time. And the new girl, like the real bubbly, like upbeat girl, she was getting like cool with the guy, and they were like hanging out outside of work and stuff like that. And they both were like really attractive and whatnot. So like, you know, you can kind of see like the sparks and chemistry of it all. And I feel like old girl that was like store manager at the time was maybe a little jealous. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. This is just my observations. And so, and I feel like she was intentionally giving old girl a hard time, and you know, and hoping that she would quit. And she did. She did ultimately quit. But you know, if you like get, that's like, okay, you want somebody to get out of the company, but instead of just firing them, you give them a hard time and tell them, oh, you're not doing a good job, you got to be doing this, you got to be doing that, but you're intentionally trying to get them the fuck up, even though you're telling them that they should be better. But you're intentionally making it a hard time for them, so they're intentionally fucking up. And you know, that's that's the shit that be irritating me. Cause I'm like, don't tell me something, and then when I go do that thing and I do it well, then it's like it's not enough. And now you finding something new to complain about. And that's really what it boils down to. And I'm not upset at, like, you know, certain people that, you know, have to like, well, I am, because like, you know, even as like delusional as stuff be, and sometimes you see through the BS and you read between the lines, and you know what information is being presented to you isn't necessarily what people want to do, but what they feel they got to do. You know, it doesn't change how irritating it is. You know, it doesn't change like that you deal with somebody that's constantly like nagging you about something, even if you know like it's BS, you know, and they're just nagging you to nag you. But it's like, that don't change how annoying that is and how stressful it is, like especially if it's financial, when you genuinely want to be in a space of financial independence, and you genuinely want to be in a space of, you know, providing for yourself and taking care of yourself. And so it's not like I don't want work or whatever like that. It's just I'm working hard to get the job. Like, and not only that, like I've come up with alternative ways to like try to bring income in. So like again, I've been selling my CDs. When I first got out here, I'm like, all right, let me try to put a show together and like maybe sell tickets or something like that. And even though people don't know me, but everybody got to work, go above and beyond, and play certain roles when I'm in certain spaces because Narisse is here, so we got to do the shenanigans. Y'all know me then, but y'all can't know me to show up for a show and just help a girl out. Like that's the part that, like, I'm sorry I live beyond the matrix that y'all try to keep me in. Like, I know the shit be fake. I gotta act like I'm not who I am. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm too real for y'all fake ass bullshit. Like, I'm not going along with the fake activities. Like, I know in real life, I can do things that other people can't do. I know in real life, like, it's in real life, I can do extraordinary things. And I gotta act like I'm normal, struggling financially just to do simple shit like get dinner for the night. And it's like, all right, here I am trying to like sell CDs. Like, it's just so crazy to me. It don't make no fucking sense. Like, if there's anybody that should be a millionaire, billionaire, it should be me. For all these companies that be, trying to profit off of aspects and details of my life, as if that's not going to be a detriment for y'all. Like, let me just say this now. I was venting about this earlier just because Apple, you know, let me just preface by saying this. I have an entertainment company called Neomac Entertainment. Right? That's my music company. That's how I do my publishing for my music. It's my self-management. It's how I distribute my music. It's my company. Guess who has a product coming out with a similar name? Apple. Who make the MacBooks? They got a MacBook Neo coming out. These companies know what they be doing, but let me tell you something. Forever, like the let me just say this here and now. And I'm supposed to act like I don't notice that shit. I'm supposed to act like, oh, who's supposed to know little old me? Why would the big corporation Apple know anything about Narisse McAllister? All these companies know about Narisse McAllister. And I'm not going to act like I don't know that because they know that. And y'all blatantly do that shit like I'm not supposed to say something. Y'all do that shit so egregiously. Like, I'm crazy if I speak up for myself and say, hey, yo, that's my company name. Or and there's another project that I saw recently where I'm like, wow, this looks very familiar. Now I don't know if I should be like upset about it or not. So I'm not going to speak too much about it until like I get more clarity. But my thing is like, I'm not going to act like I don't see these things. Like, respectfully, because I'm a fan of Bruno Mars. But he put out the video for the Risk It All, and I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the thumbnail. I'm like, oh, that looks like a very familiar picture to me. And I tweeted about it. And it's no shade to Bruno. I like Bruno. He's a very talented, dope artist. And I'm not trying to come for him right now. But the what I'm my point is, when I see those things, I point those things out. And it's not the first time I've seen major celebrities or companies and corporations, you know, include some of my art, my company, my businesses, my work in what they do and their products and their music and their sounds. And sometimes it's with positive intent. Sometimes it's but then at the same time, I know I'm not getting paid off it. That's not how I still got to get out here and sell these CDs like damn near out the trunk of my car. Like I'm not who I am. Like, these companies don't be biting off of me. And that's my point. My point is, you know, I'm going to call it out. Anytime I feel like I'm slighted in any capacity, I'm going to call it out. Because if there's anybody that deserves the money, it should be me. If there's anybody who deserves the compensation, it should be me. If there's anybody that deserves the recognition, it should be me. If there's anybody that deserves the credit, it should be me. If there's anybody that deserves the millions and the billions, it should be me. If there's anybody who deserves to have, you know, all the fucking credit for just my existence, it should be me. It don't make no sense how these motherfucking companies be making millions and billions off of my image and likeness and off aspects of my life, and y'all think that that shit not gonna crumble at some point. Let me tell y'all something right now, Apple and any other corporation going forward. I know some of y'all gotta keep up with the Illuminati quotas and keep my family satisfied, because that's really the people that y'all go to that feel as though they have some type of authority over my life. And it may look like that on paper, or maybe not on paper, because we got to act like it ain't what it is. It may look like that, but let me tell you something. From this day forward, any of you companies and corporations and creatives in any capacity, y'all take any type of anything from my image and likeness and don't compensate me for it, and you work with them people, may you never know peace until you do right by me. And may everything you touch crumble. May every dollar that you try to get off of me go to a lawsuit. You might receive a little bit of compensation right here and now for a little bit, but there will be reparations for those dollars that y'all make off of me. All of these companies, all of these products, all of these institutions, all of these people that make money off of my image and likeness, memories of my life, moments of my story, and you don't compensate me, your company is going to crumble one way or another. Scientific fact. In any timeline, past, present, or future, this world, the next world, worlds across, anywhere, it don't fucking matter. Just know that there will be consequences for transgressing against me. Know that business model is dead. Ain't no more business models. Ain't no more business models where y'all could keep taking from me and copying aspects of my company, copying aspects of my art, copying aspects of my visuals, copying aspects of my outfits, copying aspects of my music, copying aspects of my lyrics, and y'all not compensate me. Just know that that money is cursed and you will feel it. If you get that money, it's going to hurt you. Stop fucking playing with me. I don't care about who you are. I don't care about your lawyers. I don't care about how much money you got, because that money that you got now ain't about to be the money that you're going to keep having. Stop fucking with me. Pay me or watch your shit crumble, because that's the only option with me. You think you scared of them people? Y'all gonna learn it's a detriment to keep fucking with me and copying my shit and think you ain't gonna pay me. And that goes for any other creative, because y'all do that shit. Y'all bum ass companies do that shit to small artists and small creatives and small business people that are just trying to make a fucking way and do something they're either passionate about, doing something they're good at, doing something where they deserve to be compensated. And y'all be stealing ideas for these small creatives and not paying them. No longer are the days when y'all gonna keep fucking with me and think it's not gonna be a detriment to your company. All of you companies where you sneak in the N to the M, NT and the M in there, or rearrange it, or you got the N, like, no. Just know that there is a detriment to y'all. And thank you to the companies that were doing that and stop doing that. Because I made a PSA about that a few months ago. You know, and I did notice some changes, and I'm grateful for that. But y'all gonna stop playing on my name. You gonna stop playing on my name. You gonna stop disrespecting my name. You gonna stop flipping my name. You gonna stop trying to make me out to be the small thing when I'm bigger than a lot of y'all. If I'm so small and I'm nothing and I'm just something to scrape at the bottom of your fucking boot, then why you gotta copy my shit then? Because you know I'm a big fucking deal. You know I'm creative. You know I'm powerful. And y'all need my energy. Y'all try to profit off my energy. Y'all try to use my energy, but just know you only get the worst of me. All you companies that try to copy off of me and try to take from me, y'all only get the worst of me. You get the ridicule, you get the shame, you get the attacks, you get the disrespect. That's it. For all the pain and strife that I had to go through for these last few years, just trying to clear my name and speak my truth and tell the truth about my family that y'all know, and they act like they regular people from New Jersey, but they really be running these industries and having y'all sneak all this insidious ass symbolism into y'all media. Yeah, them people. They not just regular fucking people. But my point is, I'm calling this shit out. Just know it's a curse to work with them. It's a curse to work with them, and it's a curse to slight me in any capacity. If you want to reference me, you pay me. And stop acting like y'all don't know who the fuck I am. When everybody in this fucking industry be copying me. Now, I know some people do it out of love and respect, and I'm grateful for that. But what I would be more grateful for is financial stability so I can pay my bills and eat food. And I wouldn't have to worry about eating at you bitches next if y'all would just get the fuck out the way. But all you companies and corporations that be biting off of me, just know that's a detriment to y'all life. That's it. I didn't mean to get into this rant, but it was necessary because y'all be trying me. And I'm like, no longer are the days where it's socially acceptable to denounce or discredit me. That shit is done. That business model is finished. The business model of disrespecting, discrediting, and stealing from small creatives, especially me, is done. There are consequences for those actions in all timelines. Just know that any profits that you think that you're going to make off of denouncing me, discrediting me, or transgressing me in any capacity, and you not paying me, is cursed money, and it's cursing your companies, it's cursing your life, it's cursing your businesses. Until you do right by me and you fairly compensate me and you put some fucking respect on my name and speak my name because you know who the fuck I am. And I get it. Some people got to do the code, like, and I'm not, a particular thought just came to mind, and it wasn't at that person, but just the idea that we have to have this conversation of, like, I'm not gonna say no names. Y'all might know who I'm talking about, but no, say my name out loud because y'all know who I am. Y'all know who I am. I'm not just no regular person off the fucking street. Y'all know who I am. Y'all clearly see the work that I put in. Y'all see my creativity. Next time somebody try to bite my stuff, just know it's a detriment to your company. It's bad luck for you. And that's anybody. I know they make you think that that's going to propel your business. They make you think that keeping me at the bottom and y'all at the top somehow, some way is going to be advantageous for you. It's not. It's a detriment for you. Biting from me and not compensating me is a detriment for y'all. Okay? So you wanna have a Narice inspired thing, you negotiate with Narice. Y'all know my email. If you know my business name enough to steal the name and put it on your product, you know what my email is. neomacentertainment@gmail, until I can afford to have my own at Narice.com again. Which shouldn't even be a concern. That should be an easy expense based on the money that y'all companies and corporations owe me. Stop fucking playing with me. Now, anyway, the things that us childless women have to go through just to put some fucking respect on our name. You know, I know this conversation took a little tangent, but I needed to say that. That needs to be said. I don't care what business deal you people did. Just know that that's a loss for y'all. That's a loss. You're not gaining nothing off of that. You may think you might gain something. You might get a little sales, but best believe it's a detriment to you one way or another. Okay? if you try to get a product, you know, may the last be first and the first be last. Any products that y'all try to sell off of my name and likeness or moments in my life, like the Ninja Crisp on the glassware, which is crazy. They know what that is. May y'all deal with a plethora of scandals, lawsuits, bad reviews, returns, and bankruptcies until you do right by me. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a loss for y'all. Because y'all need to stop playing. Y'all need to learn a fucking lesson that is not advantageous for you. It's not. We not doing that. Like, y'all need to learn that stealing from small creatives and not paying them is a loss for y'all. Yeah, those are some sales that y'all gonna have to bleed out on. Yeah, and it's not your stocks are going down, and you know the company's in the red right now or whatever, so you could buy more stocks. No, it's actual disadvantages for y'all, like y'all getting sued, like the customers don't even like the fucking product, like there's bugs in the fucking software, like the shit is easily hackable, like y'all get bad reviews, like you miss out on sales, like you might have to file for bankruptcy, just maybe. Anyway, first of all, it's already a lot. Just, because I've worked in corporate a little bit, and it wasn't even completely corporate. It was a school, but like the setting was corporate esque. And just being in a space like that, when you're trying to navigate these workspaces, like as a single Black woman, and, it's already a lot. It's already, you know, when you're somebody that's usually outspoken or expressive, and then you're in some of these spaces where they try to tell you like, oh, it's too much, you gotta like, tone it down or whatever, and then so you just resort to like just going with the flow. And my whole thing is like, sometimes we'll have ideas, like really good ideas that can help elevate and, evolve a space, where it's like, okay, you used to do certain things this way, and that's like the old systems and, cycles and stuff like that. But it's like, all right, and you have like new ideas that can bring forth like a new cycle into a space and possibly like elevate it. And but you're dealing with people who are stuck in their ways, and it's challenging sometimes, because I feel like I've been in that space a few times where like at certain jobs, like just being there made me feel like I have to tone it down or dumb it down, and you know and try to make myself like smaller so I don't like offend or just to like appease people. Kind of like, the 48 laws of power, where they talk about, not outshining the master. My thing is like, I can't help but shine if I'm a light. Like, I get that. I get that in that space. And sometimes you do have to like tone it down and, and just like, just to stay out the way. But, and then also another thing of like, there's that other law of, you know, not putting yourself in a position where you have to fill the shoes of somebody that was like, really notable and noble, and that's very popular and people love. And and there's one job that I had when I was like the new girl, and the girl who used to be there left. um she, what's the name, everybody was just like, oh my gosh, you remind me of, because her name was similar to my name. Her name was Charisse, or at least that's what they told me. And my name is Naris. And so one of the coworkers there just kept saying like, oh, you remind me of her or whatever. And she had been there for a while, so they were used to her. And and she was, and I was still getting used to the job, but like I was doing a good job. But I felt like it was one of those situations where like they would give me all these tasks, but the thing is, how the task would be set up was like, if I did it how they explained for me to do it, it would be me kind of like putting myself like in a compromising situation. So I would try to rework the task in a way where it's like, I feel like there's a setup in this, but if I rework it, I could get the task done, but then also not fall into whatever like low key trap that they trying to put me in. And when I would do that, then they would be like, oh, you did it wrong and this and that. But I'm like, if I did it how you tried to get me to do it, you basically trying to set me up, and I know that, and I peep it, you know and so like, yeah, it would be little stuff like that. But it's like, but what you gonna do, tell your boss no, you're not gonna do it? But I'm like, I know what you're trying to get me to do, but you're trying to get me to do it in a way where it's like, like you like you fucking with me a little bit. And it's like, like I hate shit like that. And this is why I don't like working with people. I don't like working with people. I don't like working for people. And I rather just work for myself and get my own money and build my own thing, build my own finances, and get my own sales, and and everything. So might I add that I am working on a web store, a more over so. It's a clothing brand. I got 8 pieces right now. Um, four of each. 48 laws of power. Taking the power back. It's four hoodies, four t-shirts, and black, white, cream, and pink. So those are the colors. And it's not too much on me, because bitch, not too fucking much on me unless you gonna pay me much. Okay. Um, yeah, but yeah, so being in these spaces as a black woman be challenging sometimes. And and it's not like I don't want to do the hard thing or the thing that I don't feel like doing. Like, I mean, yeah, there's things that I don't want to do, but I'm willing to do it just to get the job done and just be on to the next like wave of, you know, I don't know, just like the next thing, just to bring some type of source of like income stream. And you know it's just it can be a lot sometimes. And especially like when you're willing to like do something on your own. Like, okay, what I was basically was saying was like, the whole thing about like people telling you like, oh, you should get this job. And then and in the midst of me trying to get the job, I'm also building something for myself too. Like, I'm selling my own CDs, you know building this brand, and essentially just like for all the things and all the company ideas that other people tried to like profit off of me and steal like reparations, I'm getting that shit back. And really wanting to say, I'm like, it ain't no way that y'all can make money off of my image and likeness, and I can't make money off my image and likeness. Like, no. And gratefully, like, I've been in a position where I've been able to sell my own CDs and make a little something back off of the stuff that people been doing. Like, people been robbing my music, and so, but may they never know peace until they do right by me, and may everything that they touch crumble. You know, make your banks crumble, your money crumble, your reputation crumble, your peace of mind crumble. May it all crumble until y'all do right by me and pay me. But anyway, um, I've been out here hustling, selling my CDs, and now I have an online store. And I'm not gonna lie, like part of me is like stressed about it a little bit just because like I've done this so many times. Like I've done all the things, like the rain videos, the YouTube account, you know, doing this YouTube account, doing this. Like I've started so many things. I've done online stores several times. And maybe if I'd just like stuck with one thing and committed to it, then I probably could have been further along. But at the same time, like I know I can't give myself too much of a hard time because I know that there's certain people that was like stopping me and like, and trying to like hinder my success and intentionally like doing things to like, you know, block my like cash flow. And my thing is like I know I can't be too hard on myself because I know I didn't know just at the time I didn't know how intense the shit was. And I'm like, no wonder why there were so many things that I would try to do that would just get stopped and like, and it wouldn't work. But I didn't realize there was literally a system created to keep me at the bottom and to keep me just like, you know, like just right at like keeping me right there just to like right at the bottom, you know like just enough to be like, okay, you can move a little here, you could do a little here, okay, you might do a little event here and there, but but it stops here. It doesn't progress here, you know and you can't get too big, like you gotta stay small and then stop, you know and even though I'm the biggest thing out, even though the biggest people bite off of me and choke, even though you know and my thing is like I've always had the mindset that I could do anything, and I, in recent years learning that I can do so much more than I could have even comprehended, you know but I've always had the mindset that I could be anything. Like, if I wanted to be successful in music, I could do that. And then I could also be successful in real estate. And I could also be successful in fashion. And I could also be successful in this space. And I could also be successful doing this thing. And even though I never really knew how that was going to come to be and how that was going to like manifest itself, I just always had that mindset like I could do it. Like I know I could be in these spaces. Like I could be in the red carpets. I could I like I got the swag to rock something on the red carpet. Like what are we talking about? And again, looking at the Met Gala and looking at some of these events and seeing people like bite off at aspects of my life. And it's like, bitch, no. Like if these the only thing that's different between them and me is money in a team. If I had, and mind you, I don't even need the same amount of money because I like the looks that I put together for my last project. Like I did that with a budget. Like I maybe had spent like maybe a little less than 2,000, like 2,000 on like the costumes and the fashion and the accessories and the shoes and the pieces and stuff like that. And I didn't even get to do the film that I wanted to do, but it put me in a position where I had like an array of like higher fashion costumes to work with, to style different creative projects with, and do different visuals. And sometimes you just have to make that investment. But my whole point is like I could be on these red carpets, you know? Like I know I got the swag for it, with or without no budget, you know? I know I could be on these red carpets. And you know, my whole thing is like, yeah, it was crazy because like I remember working at my old job, which was like a fashion school, and they had the Met Gala going on, and I wanted to like stop by the red carpet just to see if I could like see any looks or whatever. But then like I'm glad I didn't, because you know, I got home and looked at some of the stuff, and I'm just like, yo, this looked like pieces of my project, you know? And I'm over here like, and don't get me wrong, like I had me working that full-time job, like it was a lot, and I was like struggling and stuff like that, like commuting every day and all these things, but I was making decent money, and I was able to like save up a bit and really, and I was using that money to reinvest back into my business, even though like I was still like fighting for my name and my reputation at this point, still not even knowing how I was being sabotaged by my own family, but whatever. um and I'm over here trying to fight for my family and show up for them and all these things, but whatever. um but you know, I was like, you know, should I like go by the red carpet and you know just see some of the looks? But I'll be damned if I'm out there looking at these celebrities do fucking, you know, recreations of my look, and I can't get into the event, but everybody in that bitch know who I am, and I can't get in. I'll be damned if I go by the Met Gala and I try to walk up in there and they tell me, "Oh, you can't go in here." Why? Half these bitches got my shit on any fucking way, but I can't be here. I'm the fucking source. I'm the source. I'm the swag. I'm the inspiration. I'm on the fucking mood board, but I can't be in here. I wish somebody would try to stop me at a red carpet, please. Knowing that I could probably whip up a better look than, I mean, there's nobody in particular, but I'm just saying some of them looks be looking crazy. And I knowing that at that time, like I was confident in my look and my swag and my mentality, and I was like built up my self-esteem at this point, you know, and I was investing in my business. I was investing in somebody to help me with like social media and, you know, and improving my stage performance. Like that's what I was doing with my money and saving, of course. And then also like treating my mom how I could. And so like, you know, and just to know the things that I had to deal with at that time, like all the like the hurdles and just all the stuff that people was putting me through. It was just like, wow, this is just so crazy. You know, I mean, I've come a long way, and I mean, I still deal with some certain things in certain spaces. I mean, it's a lot better than what it used to be, but every now and then it's still a challenge because even the people that like are supportive, like, can only be but so supportive, and I'm really just trying to like destroy all of that, like that whole mentality, that whole like I'm just trying to like tear all that shit down, like the concept that, yeah, the whole rule or whatever, where it is that you can't outwardly and openly support me or just treat me with respect or treat me like a person that's worthy of dignity. They, you know, I don't know what the fuck that is, but that shit needs to stop. That shit needs to cut the fuck out. Like I don't care what that is. Like, and that's crazy to me, you know. And it's kind of like it reminds me of like I was watching this video of this guy who used to be in who is a Satanist, and he converted to Christianity, and he was just talking about how his whole experience and how he was like basically groomed into being into child pornography at one point, and then officially like integrated with that whole system. And he was like, you know, each coven is different, but the coven that he was a part of, in order to be an official member, I mean, even though they already had him doing a lot of that shit anyway, like the drugs, the sex, and the this and the that. But in order for him to be an official member, he had to denounce Jesus. That was basically the contract. It was like, you know, Jesus saves everybody but this person or this, you know, or whatever. And basically, the whole contract is to denounce Jesus. And I feel like that's what people be having you do. Like, you gotta treat this like, kind of like slavery. They got the people working the hardest at the bottom, for free labor, and energy is a source of you know, compensation as well. Like, sometimes people don't even want your money, they just want your energy, your spirit, your light, your aura, you know, and just like copy what you do and move when you move and all these things, but then try to disrespect you and keep you at the bottom as if they're not using your energy source. If you got to use my energy source, bitch, you better treat me like I'm the fucking sun in the sky. You act like, and I'll quickly remind you that the planets don't revolve around Earth. Earth revolves around the sun. So that whole like, oh, you at the bottom of my boot shit? No, bitch. Because half you bitches can't even rock a boot like me. And I say that with fucked up toes right now. And it's like, no, I refuse all of that. Oh, you got to tolerate the bullshit. You got to tolerate the disrespect. And it's like, oh, you can't like her too much, or, you can't support too much, but you have to attack her. You got to do this. Or, no, bitch. Treat me with some fucking respect. Treat me with the same respect anybody fucking deserves. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a billionaire. I don't care. Clearly, I don't care. And y'all know this. Y'all know I don't care if people be billionaires and presidents and world leaders and shit like that. I super don't care about that. My thing is like, if you good to me, I'm good to you. If you look out for me, I look out for you. If you help me out, I help you. That's it. And that's really what it should be when it comes to our interactions with human beings on this planet. Like, you ain't gotta like me, and I know all relationships are complex, and they all have their things. Like, even when it comes to friendships, you got certain friends that you could do certain things with, and certain friends that you can't. Like, all right, this my we going out clubbing friend and we have a good time. This my friend that I call when I'm going through something and we have really good heart to hearts. And then maybe you might be lucky and you have certain friends where you could do both, where when it's serious, you can call them and you could trust them and lean on them. And then when you celebrating something, you can have a good time, and this friend gonna cheer you up and elevate you. Hence my song Red. Hence Red. Because that's literally the lyrics of that song. Where it's like basically talking about like, you know, hanging out with your girls and just needing the right people to lift you up and encourage you when you be working hard, and and feeling like you got to be guarded in this world as a woman specifically, but just in general, you feel like you got to put your guard up and you got to fight everybody. And Red is basically a song about you know just letting go of your you know the armor that you've put on and put on some a more of a so, which is available for sales right now. And but putting down your metaphorical armor that you put up when you got to be guarded and fight the world, and hang with people that make you feel good and that elevate you, that encourage you, that support you, that celebrate you when you win. you know and that's essentially what Red is about. And with Red, I wrote that song a long time ago. And I was like, because I wrote that around the time where I was writing Run. And Run wasn't initially a song about friendship. Um, because the initial lyrics was, I know you're better not be loving nobody else. But I was going through a lot at the time. And you know, essentially like survived the suicide attempt. And and I, at that time prior to that, I had been like really disconnected from my friends, and I was trying so hard to like reconnect with people in my life and prove that you know that it was good to trust these people. And so I wrote Run about friendship. And I feel like sometimes writing songs about friendship could be seem a little cheesy, because most songs are about love, and most songs are about like relationships, whether it's toxic or, or not. But I feel like there's not enough songs about just like women supporting each other and uplifting each other. And that's what Red is. You know, and I felt like I was writing a lot of songs like that then. And plus, like, it had been a long time from since I had been in a relationship at that time, and I was like pretty single, and my main focus was just like on building myself up and getting myself right, getting my health together, and just like being in this new like cycle of life, for me. And where I'm just really focused on myself. And and I don't know, I guess I wrote Red about friendships that I wish I had then, and still do, you know, and still kind of like, but I know like it's not, my life is in a complex situation right now where there's so much like, I can't have normal relationships. I can't have like people be consistent. I got to deal with people showing up because one person wanted to buy a lot of irritate my time this day, and then another person may want to help out a little bit, and then another person want to do something this day, then another person want to do something that day. But if I'm dealing with the same person, they got to be all of those things, and that's irritating. I got to deal with, and my thing is like, it's tough because it's like, I mean, it kind of takes me back to when I was in Maryland, right? And when I had first moved my car from like one shop to another shop, and I was still staying in my car, and the shop owners basically let me stay there. And so, one day, depending on who's, put a request in with the Illuminati family that day, I might have somebody like helping me out a little bit. And I mean, can't help me too much, because why? Because I'm worthy of fucking respect and help, and that's too much for you bitches to deal with. Like, fucking ridiculous. Um, but then the next day, if I'm dealing with somebody else who paid to a lot time to my Illuminati family that be acting like they govern my life, even though I ain't got shit to do with these motherfuckers, I gotta deal with, whoever, fucking with me that day. And my thing is like, it like, I can't do the whole back and forth. Like, the back and forth is just like exhausting for anybody, because it's like, how can you trust anybody? How can you trust anybody at that point? If the one person that you're interacting with has to do one thing one day and then do another thing another day based on this bullshit ass family system and business that really should be shut the fuck down, to me, it just takes one time to like fuck it all up. And that's the point. And that's ultimately the point that these bitches try to do. And it's like, even if you mean well, you still got to do your job, even if the job is whatever, And so for me, it's just like, look, and imagine being in a workspace with that. That's why I'm just like, look, I'd rather just build something for myself. I'd rather just build my own, business, build my own finances, build my own, be in my own apartment, be in my own space, my own business, and, and just shut down and shut off everything that hinders that. Like all the fucking, if I could go like off the grid and just shut all these fucking devices off, all these fucking cameras and microphones and all of this stuff on the technology, and just shut all that shit down and get these bitches out my fucking face, and stop having these people try to tell me what to do with my life. Like, bitch, I don't belong to you. I don't belong to you. I'm not beholden to you. You're not an authority in my life. Like, I don't belong to y'all. Like, don't tell me what to do, don't tell me what to go, don't tell me what to eat. Shut the fuck up, get out my fucking life, mind your fucking business, and get out my fucking face. Like, if you going, unless you're gonna pay me, and Lord knows y'all owe me your whole fucking existence, the whole fucking office, whatever y'all pay rent for that office is a fraction of what y'all motherfuckers owe me. And then try to stop my bag, the little 10 $20 that I'm trying to get off selling CDs, when y'all really owe me hundreds. when you really owe me 50s and hundreds and thousands and hundred thousands and millions and billions. Like, you're not gonna make me try to feel like I'm supposed to be at the bottom when really y'all need me. Y'all need my energy. I don't need you people. I need y'all to get the fuck out the way and stay out my business. And mind your fucking business. And get off my fucking devices, get off my computers, get off my phones, get off the fucking cameras and the chips and the this and the that. Like, all of that shit. Shut all of that shit the fuck down. And you know what? And I dare people. I have a challenge for y'all. If anybody got like an ounce of integrity and courage, I just say, like, don't even work with these fucking people. Like, I don't know how the business model is set up, but if you gotta go out your way to, like, go to these people and have them, try to get me to buy a certain product or eat a certain thing or watch a certain movie, like no. Shut these motherfuckers down. Stop working with these fucking people. Like, each one of y'all that keep paying these fucking people, y'all keep these insidious ass systems going. Like, if you don't have to work with those people, don't work with these fucking people. Like, don't let these people tell you what the fuck you got to do, or tell you how to make your art, or tell you how to do your business, or tell you what products to make, and like, no. But stop working with these fucking people. Stop giving them your money. Stop selling out. Like, stand on something. Like, cancel these people the fuck out. Like, cancel these people out and make them go out of business, because you know what the fuck they be doing. You know what they stand for. And anybody who continues to do business with them, I wouldn't be surprised if you was a part of some of these people that be paying money to sex traffic, allegedly. But anybody else that's, like, got an ounce of integrity or whatever the case may be, and you feel like these people trying to tell you, oh, throw up this sign in your video, or say this in your song, you should write the lyrics like this, read between the lines, and all of that stuff, or, oh, you should design the product like this. Like, stop giving these people your money. Stop falling for these systems. Stop copying their ways. Stop doing all of that shit. Let these people go out of business. Like, just like they be trying to make me suffer financially, I'm gonna make y'all suffer financially. People gonna stop working with y'all because people don't fuck with what y'all do. People aren't voluntarily about to continue working with y'all, knowing damn well that y'all intentionally put people in harm's way and be sacrificing people and all these things. Like, no. Stop working with these people. Stop spending your money there, because it's not a good investment. Because if I find out that you're using them to use my energy to propel your career, I'm going to sabotage it. It's already sabotaged. It's already cursed. So don't work with these fucking people, because it's not good luck for y'all no more. It might have been good luck at one point. It might have been like, oh, like, this a way for us to get Grammys. This a way for us to elevate. No, it's bad luck working with them people. Stop working with them people. Stop giving them your money. Save your fucking money and do it your fucking self. You got enough talent and notoriety to get where you are now. Keep fucking going. You don't need these people to fucking win. But if you want to work with Narisse directly, you could work with Narisse. If you want to pay Narisse directly, you could pay Narisse. Stop working with these fucking people. Stop working with that office. Stop working with them, the members of my family that be selling out and participating in all these insidious things. Stop working with these fucking people and stop giving them your money. Keep your fucking money and do it with dignity. Do it with respect. You could do it by yourself. You don't need these fucking people. You don't need the symbolisms. You don't need the fucking numbers and the codes and all of this extra bullshit that be in there. You don't need none of that. Just do it off talent. Do it off creativity and off of talent. And really stand on that. Like, if y'all got these projects and these songs and stuff where you're challenging the system, stand on that in real time. Stand on it. If that's really what you about. If you really about on some fuck the quota shit, then stand on it. That's my only challenge for y'all. Just stand on it. I know it ain't easy. It ain't easy. Going up against the system ain't easy, but fueling the system ain't helping either. That's what keeps this whole situation where people feel like they gotta, bend the knee and fold to the system. If you weaken the system and attack their pockets, They can't tell you nothing. They can't tell you what to do and tell you what your art's supposed to be, because you're the power, you're the money. You own what you own. And I know it's chestnut checkers. And I know, some people can't be as bold as I am and really call it the way it is, because it's easy when you're the main one being oppressed and when you're the target of oppression. It's easy to say these motherfuckers is doing that shit and they're hurting me, they're disrespecting me, they're stealing from me, they're stealing my image and likeness. Shit, they might even, I don't know, be hunting blood at this point and doing all some weird cannibalism shit. I don't know, but I bite back, so that's cool. It's not, but if you bite, I bite back. But I'm just saying, like, if y'all don't want to keep bending the knee, weaken the knee, weaken their knee. If you don't want to keep bending your knee to these people, hit them where it hurts, and hit them where it hurts, where you're not directly putting yourself in the line of fire. Because I'm willing to do the shit. I don't care. And that could simply just be off of where you don't spend your money. But you could spend your money with Narice, though. You could support my business, though. You could spend your money with Narice directly. You could collaborate with Narice directly. You could compensate Narice directly. You could pay Narice directly, whether it's for the CDs, whether it's for ideas, whether it's for inspiration, whether it's for collaboration, whether it's for the merchandise, whether it's for reparations. It don't matter. Big on reparations. You could pay Narice, though. You could pay Narice McAllister. You can compensate Narice McAllister. You could support Narice McAllister. It's not a detriment to support a regular person. Well, I'm not a regular person, but you know, all of the shenanigans that they be having y'all doing, y'all don't have to play those games. You could treat me with respect and dignity like anybody else on this earth deserves. And I definitely deserve it, just because I have self-worth and enough self-respect to be like, yeah, I'm like, I'm better than this. I deserve better than this. I know I deserve better than this. And I'm not just about to just take the shit and tolerate it. Like, no, I'm gonna speak up about it. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna infect some fucking change in my life. Because I refuse to keep dealing with the unfair treatment when I know I deserve better. And I'm the power. I'm the magic. I'm the magic and the power, whether I know how to master it or not. I'm the magic and the power, and I deserve way more respect. I deserve compensation. I deserve credit. I deserve all of that. And not just on some like cockiness, like hold me up to a pedestal. No, because I don't need people's validation, because I'm dope enough on my own. Like, like, yes, in a white tee, disheveled hair, no makeup. I'm dope. I'm talented. I'm smart. I'm powerful. I'm beautiful. I don't need nobody's validation, but I don't need the disrespect either. I don't need the disrespect. And that system of, oh yeah, you know, take from Narice, but take from Narice and don't give her access. No, that's done. That's finito. Y'all don't get no access. The office don't get no access. The office don't get no money. The office is at the bottom of the fucking shoe. The office deserves to be oppressed. The office deserves to lose money. The office deserves to fail. The office deserves to be disrespected. The office deserves to be treated like they're being oppressed. Everybody that work at that fucking office. Their office deserves to be canceled. Their office deserves to have failed businesses. The office deserves to have lawsuits. The office deserves to have public scandals. The office deserves to be in bankruptcy. The office deserves to be out homeless, living in the fucking streets. The office deserves all of that. The office deserves to pay up on their reparations. The office deserves to do all of that. For all the things that y'all put me through is what they deserve. Everybody at that office till I'm free in every multiverse. All planes, all realms, spiritual, physical, mental, the all of them. They deserve to have their power lights out. Talking about electric bill is paid every day and it be shutting off on days after it's already paid. Y'all lights deserve to go out. Chip down, mic down, camera down. Don't think it's MTV Unplug. I'm off that microphone now. Chip down, mic down, camera down. Don't think it's MTV Unplug. I'm off that microphone now. Chip down, mic down, camera down. Don't think it's MTV Unplug. I'm off that microphone now. And if anybody thinks on copying or even, just know it's already cursed. Anybody who try to copy me and bite that and flip that in any capacity or reference it, you already getting a copyright lawsuit, and it ain't even got to be me. It could be somebody else who can charge you, and y'all could lose more that way. Yeah, this was not even what the live stream was supposed to be. But it's hard for me not to get so riled up in this fucking system. But anyway, but friendship, and reparations. But yeah, anyway, I wrote a song called Red. I wrote a song called Red about friendship and just having a good time. Because sometimes you need that. Every day shouldn't have to be a battle. Every day shouldn't have to be like a fucking, you know, a massacre, a bloodbath of sorts. It shouldn't have to always be that. And I don't know, for whatever reason, my nose is like itching. But I think because maybe I'm speaking and I feel it like buzzing. Or I don't know, the witches could be doing their witchcraftery. I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. But either way, I just wanted to say that I might get on here. Um, yeah, this conversation took a turn. But like I'm speaking the truth. Like I'm not speaking in fucking cold. Like I'm tired of that shit. I'm not acting like I'm not being quiet to the pain and suffering that I had to deal with. And y'all not gonna gaslight me into thinking that I'm crazy and that I'm making this shit up. Like no. Like no, it's very real. It's very transparent. Like I'm not just about to keep going with the flow with whatever y'all give me. Like no, I'm speaking truth to power. And the truth of the matter is that these bloodthirsty you know Satanists do insidious things and have used me to be a part of that. Like blood sacrifices is real. People be stealing people's blood. Some of y'all favorite artists be stealing blood, have been stealing blood, my blood. you know I'm not no regular human. There's mystical, magical, supernatural things that be happening in my life, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And y'all know it because apparently y'all know how to tap into my magic with the content too. When y'all be doing all of this and that, well, I'm gonna do it too. How about that? And I'm not about to keep going on with the gaslight. Like, no, the light is red. I see the light, and you're not about to keep like fooling me with that. Like, no, we're going to call it out and speak it out. Like I know my family is not just regular people from New Jersey. Like I know they're powerful people. Like certain people in my family used to be a part of the Freemasons. And I'm not beefing with every Freemason, just the Freemasons that know how to do that deep, you know, level of occult things that, leans to the satanic side. Because there's people who've been a part of that system, and they say the higher you go, the closer to, the more intense rituals that they are. And I wouldn't be surprised if things like if people found out ways to time travel and cross different multiverses and stuff like that. Like I'm just gonna say it out loud because it's true, it's real, and we speaking in code like it's not. We speaking in code like it's like we don't know what it is, and we just gotta act like shit is regular. It's not. We gotta act like things is regular. Like things stop being regular. Like I don't know. Like when all this stuff about me came out, and now oh, if you gestured this way or gestured this way, this is going to manifest, and y'all believe that shit, and have done it and seen it, and actual effect change in the reality. That's evidence and proof that one, reincarnation is real. People with superpowers is real. Time travel is real. Multiverses is real. All the conspiracy theories of people sacrificing, unaliving folks is real. People sacrificing people for awards is real. Blood sacrifices is real. People trying to get my blood because apparently there's extra superpowers along with it, and have been, you know, that's why, like, even if you're not into occult, like, something that stuck out to me when I first started like my spiritual journey was a spiritualist saying, like, to be mindful of your period, like, especially to women, like, don't just leave your blood, like, in public bathrooms, how they have like the place where you can leave your like napkins and stuff after when you're on your period. Like, don't just leave your blood anywhere. And don't and if you at other people's places and functions, like, don't leave your blood there either, because you don't know what they could be into. Like, even at the simplest level of like the occult, there's people who would take your bodily fluids and do spells with it. you know there's people who can, and that's why, like, I be hesitant about stuff like, even though I feel like women should have the rights over their bodies, and and like, say if they're in a space where like they don't want to have children, you shouldn't have children if you don't want to, and the earlier you could, like, handle it, the better. But if women want to have abortions, then they should be able to have abortions. And I understand if there's certain things where it's like further along into the pregnancy or whatever, but like, I just feel like the government shouldn't tell women what to do with their bodies, right? And but at the same time, what do y'all do with when y'all have abortions? What do y'all do with the body of the baby? What do y'all do with the blood? Do y'all give it back to the mom? If the mom wants it back, can you give it back to her? Like, what do y'all do with that? And that same video that I was talking about with the guy who said he was a Satanist at one point and converted to Christianity, he was saying, like, they would have rituals where they would get the women pregnant and they would have abortions because that would be like a sacrifice to the devil. And that's essentially what abortions are. Even if you might not be participating in that on a spiritual level, somebody is, you know somebody's doing something with that. And and that's always like the thing that, like, I just try to be like weary of. And it's just like, I don't like, one, I don't trust these fucking doctors, where I went to get a fucking root canal and motherfuckers fucked up my tooth. And this was a public This was a public, legitimate business. And somehow, some way, I came out there with a fucked up tooth that I wouldn't be surprised had a microphone in it, allegedly. Because they do shit like that. And that's crazy. That's not normal. That's crazy. And that shouldn't be seen as normal. That's crazy work. And, and my reputation had been like tainted enough to convince people that that was okay. To convince people, like, yeah, get mic her up, get a mic and a chip and cameras, insert it into her physical being and watch what she does and what she thinks. And that's crazy. And I don't care how you try to justify it. That shit isn't normal. It's just not okay at all for anybody. I'm like, and y'all just got to come up with your BS reasons to try to justify the shit. And I'm like, no, the shit ain't okay. That shit is fucking wild. And how do you prove shit like that? Because it's real. They do shit like that. They actually do that. But anyway, yeah, be wary of, specifically women, like your blood. Because even if you want to be like, oh, I don't believe in the occult, that's devil worship and this and that. All right, that's fine. You could feel that way about it. But that doesn't change the fact that there's people out there that participate in the occult and study and master it. And you doing something as simple as just like using the bathroom and leaving your pad in there, that don't mean that somebody not, trying to collect your blood and do whatever. Because they do shit like that. And if you don't do shit like that and you don't believe shit, well, there are people who do that. And you should be wary of that. And better to be safe than sorry. you know and it's unfortunate to have to think like that and live like that. But when you realize that how sick and crazy this shit is, and a lot of the things that people say is conspiracy theory is actual conspiracy facts, you realize you got to do stuff like that. Like, yeah, I can't leave my blood just anywhere. Or when you go to the bathroom, flush the toilet, because people will use your bodily fluids. And there might have been some occasions where I might have been slipping or whatever, or like, but I'm like, the fact that that's something that I've had to worry about in real life is crazy, especially as a woman with a cycle. And then, like, sometimes having irregular cycles where, like, the bleeding was extended, and knowing that there was probably people like intentionally trying to like curse my womb, like, get off my vagina. Like, get out my face, get off my head, get out my fucking devices, get off my vagina, get off my blood, get off my spirit. Like, just get off my spirit, get off my soul. Like, the things that these people will do just to have pieces of you, just to have like parts of you and your energy and your spirit and your essence and your imagine your ashe, like, just bitch, get off me. Damn, I just wish you bitches could just line up and I could just mollywop you bitches out my fucking face. Like, the shit is crazy. It's crazy for a person to have to fucking deal with. And that's why I'm just like, yo, I just need my own fucking money in my own place. Like, I don't even really care to fight bitches. I just want to get off the grid and just get these bitches out my face. And you would think the shit is conspiracy, but it's not. It's real life. Like, I just want motherfuckers to just leave me alone and get out my face. Get off my body, get off my vagina, get off my period, get off my blood, get off of me. Get off my art, get off my creativity, get off my ideas, get out my fucking way. Get out my life and get out the way. Get out my head. Get off my fucking devices. Get off the cameras. Get off the microphones. Get off the chips. Get off my spirit. Get off my soul. Get off my vagina. Get off my food. Get off my body, get off my finances, get off my business, get off of me. Get out the fucking way. Get the fuck out the way. And, you know, and in this new era of my life, I'm just like, yo, I'm not tolerating the shenanigans anymore. Like, I know I deserve respect. I deserve being in safe spaces. I deserve being in clean spaces. I deserve to not have to deal with people bugging me. I deserve compensation. I deserve respect. I'm like, stop fucking playing with me. Y'all know ain't nothing fucking wrong with this goddamn battery. And guess what? And it's not gonna charge. Whatever. Anyway, I deserve fair compensation. I deserve respect. I deserve safe environments. I deserve people supporting me out loud because it's cool to do that. Because bitch, I'm cooler than all these motherfuckers anyway. I deserve selling out my CDs, selling out my merchandise, actually building an organic audience or authentic organic audience, success, shutting down all this monitoring shenanigans, all these fucking chips and mics and hack devices and all of that shit. Shut the fuck down. Unplug out the fucking matrix. Free myself, make moves, live where I want to live, afford where I want to live easily afford where I want to live. Get out the way, get these motherfuckers out my life, out the way, off my devices, out my shit. Just stay out. And we know what it is. Like the whole acting like we don't know what it is. Like y'all know what this is. Y'all know the games they play. And I'm shutting it down. Because I deserve better. I deserve better treatment. I deserve space, safe spaces. I deserve to be treated with respect. I don't want to be a part of y'all fucking rituals and sacrifices and shit. Like allegedly. I don't want to be a part of that, especially if you're not fucking paying me. You don't get to just use my energy and use my likeness for y'all insidious shenanigans. Pay me. Or leave me alone. Pay me or leave me alone. That's really what it boils down to at this point. Pay me or leave me alone. Pay me or leave me alone. Either you can pay me, you can compensate me, support me, uplift me, or stay out the way. The only people who I give a hard time are the people who give me a hard time. And I don't care if they used to be your favorite celebrities or people that you looked up to or whatever. These people are insidious. And I used to be fans of some of them people too, but not no more. Because they've been stealing from me and they don't give me credit. And they try to make me feel small when really I'm bigger than them. Energetically, spiritually, powerfully bigger than them. Because y'all need my energy. I don't need y'all. I need y'all to stay out the way and pay me. And at the very least, show some fucking respect. You ain't gotta like me. You ain't gotta be in my face, but you will respect me. I'm not at nobody's bottom of nobody's foot. No, bitch. But my foot will be on y'all necks. Like, leave me alone. Pay me or leave me alone. Because I don't bother nobody. Anything, if anything, what I do in my free time, even when I don't even have all the resources that I deserve to have, I'm figuring out how I can help other people. I'm out here saving lives. I'm trying to make up for all the insidious things that they try to use my energy to do. Y'all out here trying to sacrifice people. I'm trying to bring people back to life. Integrity. Some of y'all favorite celebrities don't know what that is. They just know money and power. And sure, some of them might be talented, but that talent don't matter if you ain't got no integrity. and you willing to sell out your own people and sacrifice your own people just so you could be at the top and be the most awarded. That's sucker shit. Sell out. And it don't matter what stuff you do on the side. The stuff you do on the side, and it's like, all right, cool. It was dope seeing, Kendrick perform at the Super Bowl. It was dope seeing Bad Bunny perform at the Super Bowl and giving, people of color, um, you know, people of color positions to elevate, you know, their brand. And those were monumental performances. I mean, to see what Kendrick did with the red, white, and blue, and the American flag and all of that stuff. Like, and then, and what Bad Bunny did to elevate, Puerto Rican people, but then not even just Puerto Rican people, but the people of all of the, you know, Americas and the different countries. It was beautiful, However, that's dope that they were able to have that platform to do that. However, that don't make up for the insidious shit that be going on with these companies and these people at these desks, at these tables, behind the scenes, where y'all be unaliving and sacrificing and selling out and doing these rituals and such. We're not gonna act like that's not a thing. And I speak on it because I'm directly affected by that. That's the shit that I have to deal with every fucking day. It'd be another thing if that wasn't my everyday reality, where I didn't have to constantly worry about, like, oh, are people trying to, like, hound my blood today? So no, I can't let that shit slide. I can't let it slide. I can't just be like, oh, but they did such a good performance, when I gotta stress every day about motherfuckers trying to steal my blood. I don't care if that's your girl and your favorite artist. And my thing is, like, all right, fine, you can celebrate them and I'm not gonna be mad about it. You can celebrate their talents and stuff, but I'm going to keep speaking up about the shit that I be going through. I don't have a normal life. I don't have a normal reality where I could just celebrate these celebrities for, the talented things that they do. I read between the lines and I see the symbols and the numerology referenced in the videos and the this and the that, and I see how aspects of my life are being used to either propel people's careers or whatever. And I see the blood, sweat, and tears of my own life being reflected in these projects, and I'm not going to be quiet about it. Like, I'm not going to act like I don't see the things or go through the things that I go through. I'm speaking about it out loud because it's real. And I'm not going to let y'all keep gaslighting me into making me think that I'm crazy for noticing the shit. Like, y'all favorite celebrities be insidious. And they be vampires in real life. Like the vampires and sinners that was drinking up the people blood and shit. Those are real. And some of them are your favorite celebrities. Or maybe your least favorite celebrity at this point. They do that in real life. Yeah. Unfortunately. So, ladies, when you on your period, be protective with your blood. It don't matter if you got superpowers or not. Like, you might come across, a witch that, is like that and is about that and wants to collect that. And, and maybe not, some people consume it. Some people try to, if you've ever heard of the spell, the, women who put their blood in spaghetti and make their man eat it so they'll be in love with them. A love spell. Or women just, like, people could either, like, use your blood to do spell work on it, or use your blood to, like, consume it. Yeah, that's real. That's not like me talking about some hocus pocus conspiracy. And even if you don't want to believe that, there are people who do that. So you could be naive all you want and be like, oh, that's that's a sick way to think and this and that. And it is. But you have to think about, you have to know your enemy. You have to know your enemy and know how far they're willing to go, even if you're not willing to go that far. It's best for you to know how far they're willing to go so you can do the smart things to protect yourself and be mindful to know that other people play like that. Other people are willing to sacrifice like that. Other people are willing to go that far to, you know, follow you into a bathroom, see which toilet you use and track your period, see if you're on your cycle, if you're bleeding right now, if this is the heaviest day versus the lightest day of your period, and and how many days are you on your period? What did you leave your tampon? And don't do dumb shit like that. You know, I mean, for me, it's like it's but so much monitoring I could do as one person, and can I trust other people? No, I don't trust nobody. Unfortunately, it's got to be like that. But you got to be smart with shit like that because there are people who do that. There are people who try to collect period blood. You know, your menstrual, your cycle, your period, and track that shit. You know, and it could be like in subtle ways of like girl talk, like, oh, how's your period? Like, does your do you get heavy days? Is your flow heavy? And we'll track that shit down. Like, oh, is it day one of the period or day two or day three? Yeah, it's people that's like that. So protect yourself. Why protect yourself, especially around your cycles, your periods, you know, and even in these doctors' offices too. If y'all get abortions, see if y'all can keep the remains. Because what do they be doing with that? You know? I don't know. Maybe see if you want to get it like cremated or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Or if you've had a miscarriage or something like that. If you had a miscarriage and, don't let them keep that stuff. Or if you're giving birth at a hospital, keep the placenta. Keep the placenta. Like all of that. But if you're just having a regular cycle, like don't just leave your blood anywhere. Like keep your blood on you or dispose of it your own way. That's safe. You know, because the warfare is spiritual and it's real. But yeah, I just wanted to make that known. That's the end of my rant. I'll end this live stream right here. Unplug out the matrix. Much love to y'all. Shout out to Psalm 23. Um, but yeah, well, we'll just conclude this right here. But all right. Much love to y'all, and I'll see y'all later.